What if you were told that the small being of fur and silence in your home is not a pet, but a guardian? A guardian sent to hold a lamp for your spirit as the world navigates its own twilight. And what if this truth was not new, but an ancient echo, a wisdom foreseen long ago by a quiet mind, and you, with your companion, are the living proof of its unfolding? Stay present with me, for the understanding we are about to explore may change how you perceive the still, knowing presence that observes you, even now. There was a time, nearly a lifetime ago, when the world was loud with conflict. In a quiet room, a man known for his deep sight, what my tradition calls clarity of the inner eye, spoke not of the wars of men, but of a different struggle to come. He saw a future where humanity would face a profound spiritual winter, a time not of hunger for food, but of starvation for meaning. He described a world where connection was everywhere, but kinship was rare, where our hands would be full, but our spirits empty. He saw the very river of our humanity running shallow. Yet within this sobering vision, he spoke of a great compassion. The source, he said, would place among us quiet sentinels, not in grand forms, but in the humble shape of creatures with whiskers and paws, and eyes that see the world behind the world. These beings, these cats, would be anchors for the human spirit. In my lineage, we are taught that everything possesses its own vibration, its own song. This ancient teaching explains that each of these guardians carries a unique resonance, a silent melody perfectly attuned to a specific human soul. But the teaching goes deeper. These beings do not merely offer comfort to your mind. They work with the very flow of your life force. They are living instruments of harmony, working on a level that our modern tools are only now beginning to sense. The ancient texts describe how these guardians place themselves not by chance, but with deep intention. They rest upon your chest when the seas of your heart are stormy, bringing stillness to the waters. They curl near your head as you sleep, gathering the scattered leaves of your thoughts. They appear at your door in your moments of deepest shadow, not by accident, but because your soul has sent out a silent call, and they have come to answer. Now, after many seasons have passed, those who measure the world are finding echoes of this ancient wisdom in their own language. A scientist, a student of the brain's hidden pathways, began to observe these subtle energies after her own companion, a cat she had saved, seemed to sense the storms in her mind before they arrived. What she discovered was a quiet miracle. These small beings, her studies showed, radiate an energy field, a gentle warmth that mirrors the very brain patterns of human stillness and peace. When one of these creatures hums that low, soft rumble, it is not just a sound of contentment. It is a frequency of restoration. It is a vibration that your body knows, a vibration that encourages the mending of bones and the calming of a racing heart. But the stream flows deeper still. Her work revealed that these guardians can perceive the subtle shifts in our own energy, the faint tremors that precede an emotional earthquake. Long before we ourselves are aware of the ground shaking, they are not merely reacting to our state. They are sensing our imbalances and offering their stillness before the storm arrives. Consider this story a teaching in itself. Imagine a soul, a healer of others, who lost her own light. After her companion on life's road was suddenly taken, a winter of the soul set in. The colors of her world faded to gray, and the silence in her heart was deafening. Her training, her friends, none could light a candle in her darkness. Then, one evening, a faint cry from the shadows. Beneath a parked cart, she found a small, broken creature, barely clinging to the stream of life. An eye was lost, a leg fractured. In a moment beyond logic, she offered all she had to mend this tiny being. That night, as she sat on the edge of the great abyss, the small creature, her new companion, somehow found his way to her lap. As she felt the vibration of his life, his low hum against her chest, a thaw began. The ice of her despair, which had held her captive for months, started to crack. Not by force of will, but through the silent offering of another being who had appeared in her hour of need. She named him for the bird of fire that rises from ash, and together they began to mend. But here is the heart of the teaching. Her companion seemed to know the tremors before they came. He would come close, pressing his small body against her heart, and his steady, rhythmic hum would anchor her, often before she even knew a wave of sorrow was about to break. Was this mere chance, or was this small guardian fulfilling the very purpose foretold by the ancient wisdom? Another mind, a student of the unseen connections that weave the universe, at first saw only sentiment in such stories. But his own small companion, a cat he had welcomed from the cold, began to move in ways that defied simple explanation. More curious still, the cat's quiet presence seemed to bring a strange harmony to his own work, his experiments with the very fabric of reality. Using sensitive instruments, he discovered something profound. These guardians and their human companions do not live in separate rivers of experience. Their energies become intertwined, a dance of two streams merging into one. Their inner worlds become synchronized. This is not mystery, it is the nature of true connection. A connection that allows for a flow of silent communication, a balancing of two spirits. The ancient wisdom foresaw this. It taught that these guardians do not enter our lives by accident. They are drawn by a magnetism of the spirit. Consider Maria from a sun-drenched land. Her grandmother was preparing for the great journey, the final letting go. Their family had no animals. But in that final week, a beautiful cat with a coat of many colors began to appear at the window. It would sit for hours, its gaze fixed on the woman preparing to depart. Its stillness was so profound, it was almost unsettling. On the day of her passing, the cat was found inside, curled on the bed beside her, a silent watcher. It would not leave until the final goodbyes had been said. Then, as quietly as it arrived, it disappeared. Maria would later learn that in the folklore of her people, these creatures are seen as guides who help souls find their way across the great river. Her grandmother, who had been afraid, passed in peace. The small guardian had completed its silent work. The ancient teaching predicted that as humanity's spiritual winter deepened, certain souls would begin to stir. They would feel a pull towards these feline companions, and the companions would be drawn to them. Together, they would create a web of quiet light across the globe, each human anchored by their guardian. This is what we see now. Around the world, people are sharing stories of this deep connection, not just comfort, but profound moments of healing, of knowing, of seeing beyond the veil of the ordinary. A woman named Jennifer, who works with the structured world of code, shared how her companion, Luna, began to join her in her daily practice of sitting in silence. At first, she thought it was her imagination. But every time she sat, Luna would sit before her, close her eyes, and breathe in rhythm with her. A current of peace, she said, flowed between them. Jennifer's practice became a deep well. She felt a connection to the vastness. Luna was not her pet. Luna was a teacher in a vessel of fur. Those who study the body now understand that this healing is not just in the hum of the purr, but in the entire field of being. When a cat brushes against you, it is not merely a sign of affection. It is a recalibration, a tuning of your own energy. A healer who works with veterans, those who have seen the great traumas of the world, observed this in her work. The therapy cats would instinctively rest near the parts of a person's body that held the deepest wounds, the silent memories of pain. A cat resting on the chest suggests the heart stream is blocked. One that stays near the head points to a tangle of thoughts. More than this, it seems these creatures absorb the heavy, dark energies and transform them within their own small bodies. This explains why a guardian may fall ill when their human is walking through fire. They are, in a very real way, taking on our suffering and helping us carry the load. As more people awaken to this quiet truth, the web of light expands, just as the old wisdom said it would. Communities are forming, spaces where these stories can be shared, and the stories are like streams from a single mountain, flowing in all directions but coming from the same source. Cats appearing in moments of crisis, cats foreseeing illness, cats opening doorways to a deeper self, cats standing as bridges between the world we see and the world we feel. This is not a string of coincidences. It is the quiet unfolding of a promise. Perhaps the most beautiful sign is this: the children of today seem to know this truth without being told. Unburdened by the labels of a conditioned world, they communicate with their guardians from the heart. An 8-year-old boy named Marcus says his cat, Whiskers, speaks to him in pictures in his mind. He once saw a picture of his grandfather arriving 3 days before anyone knew of the visit. A 7-year-old girl named Lily believes her cat, Mittens, travels with her to Star Worlds when she naps. Her parents thought it was a child's fancy until she spoke of the patterns of the stars with a knowing she could not have learned. These children are showing us the path back to our own inner sight, and their feline guides are holding the lamp. The old wisdom warned that before this great awakening, humanity would walk through a dark valley, a time of profound disconnection, what some call the dark night of the soul. This is the time you are in. The world is full of voices, yet many feel unheard. The world is full of pathways, yet many feel lost. The old maps, tradition, community have faded for some, leaving them adrift. But in this very darkness, the guardians are doing their work. They are anchors of presence. They tether their humans to the simple, profound truth of love, reminding the soul of its own eternal light that no chaos can extinguish. At its very core, the prophecy reveals a simple truth. Love is a vibration. Love is a frequency that reality is built upon. When your guardian looks into your eyes, with that still and ancient gaze, they are not just seeing the person you present to the world. They are seeing your spirit, your eternal self, the part of you that has never been broken. This is why their presence can be a balm for a wounded heart, why their hum can quiet a restless mind, why their simple being can relight hope when all other lights have gone out. They are broadcasting the frequency of unconditional acceptance directly into your field of being, reminding you of the truth of who you are beneath the dust of fear and forgetting. Look around today. It is difficult not to see the pattern. These small beings are appearing in shelters, seeking the humans they are meant to find. More and more people are opening their homes and hearts. This timing is not random, as humanity stands at a great crossroads, a choice between a deeper connection or a final separation. These guardians are taking their places. They are ready to anchor the light for those who are ready to remember. If you have such a companion, you are not merely a pet owner. You are a keeper of a sacred trust, a participant in a great unfolding. Your companion is not just a comfort. They are your teacher, your healer, and your guide between the worlds. Tonight, I invite you to look into their eyes. Truly look. What you will see looking back is not just an animal. It is an old soul, a messenger of grace, a small piece of the universe that chose to wear fur and whiskers for one reason: to help you remember who you truly are. The next time they rest upon your chest when you feel uneasy, understand they are not just seeking warmth. They are practicing an ancient art of energy balancing. When they stare into the empty spaces of your room, know they are not seeing nothing. They are perceiving the flows and currents of a world beyond your senses, and they are standing guard. When one appears at your door, a stray seeking shelter, understand this is not by chance. Your soul called, and they have answered. They found you because it was written in the journey of your spirit. In the great tapestry, you needed one another. This ancient teaching, this prophecy, was never just about cats. It was about love. It was about the universe's immense compassion for a world walking through shadows. It was about a higher wisdom working through the most humble of messengers, ensuring that no soul would have to face the darkness alone. Your cat is proof that you are loved by forces you may not see, guided by a wisdom you may not understand, protected by a presence you can only feel. In this modern world, perhaps the most profound technology is not in your hand, but purring in your lap, the simple, perfect consciousness of a being that chose to love you. The prophecy is not a story from the past. It is happening now. It is in your home. It is in your heart. It is happening in the quiet moment when you lock eyes with your feline guardian and you feel the spark of recognition between two souls who were always meant to find each other on this path. If these words have awakened something within you, if you have seen your own journey reflected here, then you are part of this unfolding. You are one of the awakening souls these guardians have come to guide. I invite you, share the story of your own journey in the space below. Tell us of the moment you knew your companion was something more. Let your story be a lamp for other travelers on the path. And if you know a soul who needs to hear this, someone walking through their own valley of shadow, share this offering with them. Help them to see their companion not as a pet, but as a sacred gift for this great journey of transformation. Remember to subscribe, to join our circle as we continue to explore the hidden streams of our world and the quiet truths that are unfolding all around us. Remember, you are not just a keeper of a cat. You are a guardian of consciousness, a walker in the great awakening. Your companion chose you, the universe chose you, and the great song of existence continues to unfold, one quiet purr at a time.